Hey all, Josh Kirkman here with another episode of the Boogie podcast. This time around, I'm releasing a chat I had with Jacob Romero back earlier in this year. Recorded this one while I was on the road, living the van life, and been long overdue to catch up with J-Rom. We kind of missed each other a couple of times at a few events and never quite got there, but it was really good to catch up with the man. He's a new dad. He's one of the best aerialists that Hawaii's ever seen, and he's a very competitive guy who doesn't seem to be done quite yet. So please enjoy this chat with J-Rom, and a huge thank you to him for his patience in me getting to him for this episode. All right, enjoy.
Let's get into it. I mean, welcome to the Boogie podcast.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to finally have you, man. I missed you in the Canaries.
Yeah, guy. Well, yeah, I had my family and everything, so it's kind of like family time.
But let's go back there quickly, because that was probably the first thing I wanted to talk about and ask you about. You know, that was your first big competition back into the that was your first big competition back. After your child, you got the baby, you got like a lot of family time focus. How did it feel to get back into competition? Like, did you feel good going into the competition, or where were you at?
Yeah, I felt regular. Felt like I was surfing good. I did the pipeline contest earlier that year, I believe.
Sure.
So it was pretty big that day. I don't know. When I compete, I just feel like when I surf, I just surf. Like, I compete how I surf, free surf. So I kind of felt like I was just regular, normal, and had my family there, so I was more motivated, I guess. But in a way.
Okay.
But I went to mental-wise before Canaries, and I scored waves. So I felt like my surfing was on par, and I felt super confident, and front on is a wave that I love, and it just reminds me of home. So I just felt good. It was my one of my bigger contests that year. So I felt super good having my family there, and I just felt more relaxed, kind of. Maybe too relaxed. I don't know. I just felt like I was just cruising.
Well, you cruised pretty far, because you had to go into the trials, which was kind of interesting because you got to surf a lot. Like, you got so many heats out there, which is kind of cool. But then you just didn't quite get into the main event. How did you feel? Because, it's kind of interesting seeing guys like there was you and Alex Uranga who were in that trials zone, who normally aren't in a trials event, and then you guys were just so close to getting into the main event. Like, did you feel disappointed, or were you actually quite happy with your kind of performance anyway?
Yeah, so disappointed.
Oh, you were.
Part of my practice, but yeah, I was pretty bummed.
Yeah.
Because I'm very confident at that wave. And the last contest I did at Fronton, I think I got fourth.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was super bummed. I actually tried getting the wild card at first, but I couldn't get a wild card just because all kinds of dramas. But I felt confident going into the trials, and it was cool having Alex in the trials and Davis Blackwell too. I think was in the trials.
Yeah.
He beat me in my heat, and then
you can sort him out later.
Yeah, our heat was just super slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was super bummed. I was pissed off. I was whatever. I hate losing, especially at Fronton. And I was super bummed.
How do you kind of get over that? I mean, does the competition matter to you? I mean, the world's changed so much, right, since all this like Fronton was on a different planet, really, like, to what we're all dealing with today. But I mean, after that event, did you, or have you had plans to get back into competition more on the World Tour, or has it just been something that's going to play a secondary role for you for the next few years anyway? Like, is it something that matters to you anymore?
Yeah, for this year, like, I wanted to do the tour. Like, I wanted to go to Rica, Iquique, not so much Brazil. I wanted to do the South Africa event because I love South Africa. And last time I did an event there I wasn't in Cape Town, but I was in Durban. My first time in South Africa. I loved it. And
Yeah, right.
that Cape Rock thing.
Oh,
But
cool.
I wanted to do all that, do some events, and I wanted to go back to Canaries and
Okay.
trials. If I had to do trials, apply for World Cup. I had a full on goal, full on mission. Like,
Oh, you did. Okay. Cool.
yeah, I was working casual for valet, so I could just leave whenever. And my wife is super supportive, so
Yeah.
she'll let me go chase that
that's
dream,
great.
chase that first world tour event,
Yeah.
whatever win, which I never got yet. But
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
I mean, it's been a few years for you though, right? Like, I mean, how old are you now? Are you the same age as me? Are we both 36 or how old are you?
boy, bro, I know your age. I still younger than you.
How old are you now?
Nah, I'm 34.
Yeah, you're 34. Okay, come on, man. It's pretty close.
I'm 34, but I still feel like I got so much to give, bro. Like,
Well, I mean, you do still have like you're definitely still really fit, and I've noticed that you've been bashing out some kilometers on the roads. You've been running a lot and stuff like that. Like, you still are staying quite healthy and fit. So you're saying you had actually like a big plan to kind of really put some time back into the tour this year. You were actually committed to that.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to do some select events, not all events, but kind of like get back into it, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, cool. I mean, since having like, what's your child's name again? I forgot the name.
Jax.
So since having Jax, did that kind of make you want it more, or did you want to stay home and just kind of be a part of that? Because, there's a big cost of traveling so much with the tour, right? So how is that why you were looking more at a selective kind of approach to the year? Because you still, do you feel a bit torn about those kind of decisions now that you've got a son, like it's a family? Like, is it a different mindset?
Yeah, of course, bro. That's my main priority now in life is my son, family first. And then I still have passion to boogie board and compete. So you just kind of gonna find that kind of navigate through that and kind of just see like, because but you kind of just go, oh, I'm gonna be gone like half of the year when you just had a son, like I wanted to be there. I didn't want to miss out on things, and that he's done and learned and stuff. So I kind of like, oh, maybe give him a year or two, and then do some events and see how it goes. And if I was over that, then I'll kind of just like, forget the tour. Maybe do one here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't want to be away. But like people say, they get motivated to do stuff because of their sons and their kids and stuff. I mean, that's cool. But like, it just gives you like a little more like boost to be like, hey, shit, I like do this for my son. Like have him be like, hey, my dad was a badass when I was growing up, like something like that. But I'm always cool. I'm just motivated to do shit, man. Like, so it just gave me a little motivation having a son.
Okay. With your competitive history, like there are those you haven't had that win yet, like, and I know everybody wants that win, I want it too, so I get it. And it's hard to, you definitely miss, when you're at a competition and you feel like you come close and you're like, shit, I was nearly there, like I was nearly there, and it only makes you want to do it again. I mean, with your competition results in the past, how do you see yourself overcoming that barrier, to the win? Like, what do you think you have to do to get there? What's the secret, or what do you? Yeah,
everybody knows, bro. Like, I don't like going left. And I can go left, but I'm just not confident as my right hander as well. But
yeah,
I feel like if I could go left more in competition, then I'll have a little more advantage. But
sure.
Shit, that I'll say last, but that box event is all right, bro. That thing, I fully thought I should have made it in the finals and won, but and that's how it goes, competitions. But for sure, work on my lefts, get more confident. I think that's about it. Because fuck, if I go right, I feel like I can smoke everybody on the right.
Yeah, you can. And I remember when we had our heat in Arica maybe 2017, and it was me, you, and I think Roberto Bruno. And I was going into the heat, and I was like, shit, I hope it's a bit smaller so there's more lefts. And everyone's like, it's rights, man. Jacob's got this one. So it's like, okay, I'll have to figure something else out. But I mean, do you have the waves on Maui to practice left so much? I mean, from my memory, it's really a lot of right-handers over there, right?
Yeah, no way. Maui has freaking maybe 97% right-handers.
That's crazy.
That's why you see like all the guys like Chad Militante, he's good at rights. Yep. And Evan Coe, he's good at rights. Jimmy, he's good at rights.
Crazy.
All those guys, because we just got the right-handers here, so it's hard to practice.
Well, what are you gonna? How can you approach it then? Like, how do you think you can work on that then? If you're in Maui, like, what are you gonna have to do?
Just go and surf. Maybe shitty hole keep on middles where the lefts, where all the surfers go. But frick, I don't know. I can go left. Like mental wise, there's so much lefts.
Yeah.
And I was doing good on my left, so just I don't know. Just breaking that barrier of getting confident and freaking doing that. But at this stage, like I'm 34, bro. Like I'll just go to the events where there's right-handers.
You would have loved to get.
Hey, before like I was just so like not shame, but I was just like fuck, man. Like if there's all lefts, I lose already, But now I'm just like. I already accepted the fact that hey, everybody knows I like rights. Fuck them. I'm 34. Like I'm older. Who gives a shit? I'm just gonna go right. Like guys mentioned on the mic. Oh, right-handers, right-hander. Oh, Jake. I'm like, shut up, bro. This is like, how many years already?
Classic. I mean, so let's go back in time then, because like it is a really interesting place that you've grown up on the island of Maui. It's had a good moment like competitively with bodyboarding. There was a couple of years there where the Honolulu Bay competition was a very important competition back in nearly 20 years ago now. I mean, what's that?
You're there for the Honolulu
contest. I was there for two of them. They were bloody it's an incredible wave, very tricky wave though. I found it really hard to understand what it was doing. It was actually it reminded me a lot of North Point, like with that kind of, there was a lot of timing you needed to get right out there. But it's definitely played a big role for you in your development. But how did your kind of beginnings happen in bodyboarding on the island of Maui? How did you get into bodyboarding in the beginning?
Basically, my older brother. Well, when you're kids, like you just go and get a little kickboard and cruise in the shore break. That's how I picked up a board. But to ride my first real wave, my older brother, we grew up where he's still here, but Oahu in Maui. Yeah. There's a spot called Sand Piles and Churches, and my older brother Josh, he took me out. I had diving fins and a Costco Mori boogie, and I rode my first wave there, and I was hooked. And I was like, "Wow, we live so close to the beach. I can just go surf here every single day." After that was nonstop, and then we just kept going from there. Like before school, after school, bodyboard choke. I used to skate choke, but then I quit skating to just bodyboard because I was like, frick, all I want to do is be the best and get good and be a pro and do tour and all that shit. And but yeah, there's a huge bodyboarding scene here in Maui, bro. Like this past what is that? Hurricane Douglas about a half ago. Right. If you pull up to the harbor, you would have saw guarantee 100 plus bodyboarders in the water in the harbor.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's
like
crazy.
the whole like falling, and out there was like Chad Militante was on his boogie board, like from the old generation to my generation to the younger guys. Wow, there's so much people here. There's so much bodyboarders. So that's all. You just bodyboard, cruise, but that's what I did. Surf every morning. School, after school, before school. I never did skip school to surf. So all you kids listening, man, go to school. You always in the morning or after school. Never skip school.
Yeah, I don't think I ever skipped school. I would have gotten in too much trouble, but I was definitely every morning and every afternoon. There was always first there. When you were growing up, I mean, there was that time, I guess, of riding a bodyboard for fun. You know, you're having a good time with your friends. But when was that moment where it did really click for you, where you were like, hang on a second, I actually can go and be a professional at this. I can actually compete internationally. When was that moment for you?
Yeah, so the first contest, there's this guy called, I don't know if you remember him, Tyler Ching Johnson. He's from Maui.
Yep, I remember him.
He's exactly my age, and he was the guy to beat. He had his own signature model with BSD and whatnot. So he was winning all the contests, and we're like, okay, shit, he's in this contest called, we're in the Lahaina Classic. Maybe sophomore in high school or junior in high school. I started late. I started in 8th grade.
Okay.
So we did this contest, and he was the guy to beat. And freaking the first year we did, I got second to him, I think. But then the following year, it was just like, okay, I'm going to beat this guy. And then I ended up beating him, bro. Like, when they called second place, Tyler Ching Johnson, everybody was like, and then I got first, and I was like, yeah, fuck, maybe I can do this, bro. Just entering contests and go. So, yeah, we just kept entering contests. Jimmy Hutaff really was the guy who, like, mentored us, me and my younger brother, and, like, he just told us what we have to do if we really wanted to kind of pursue being a pro bodyboarder, and that's what we all did. And I ended up taking it the furthest out of the group of guys we bodyboarded with. But yeah, thank you to Jimmy. Jimmy was the guy who helped me out, Joe.
Cool. I mean, getting onto the, moving ahead then, so, you kind of get this win over Tyler Ching Johnson. You kind of make the realization like, shit, yeah, I can actually do this. How do you, as a bodyboarder growing up in Maui, like what's the reality of taking that next step to travel to places like the box? And, how difficult was it to get it together, or was it an easy pathway to get the money and the opportunity to kind of match? Like, how did all that work for you?
To everybody listening, it's not easy. You get this kind of like feeling like, oh, I want to be a pro. You're gonna make money, and you're not gonna make money. So that's why I keep telling everyone, you just do it for the love, and if it happens, it happens. As for me, my path was like, do contests, work. I work at the airlines after high school, so I could get free flights and travel and whatnot. And I did that. And then my parents are like, hey, if you go to school on Oahu, we'll pay for your rent. So I was like, okay, that's where you have to prove your worth, basically. They supported me, and my brothers and my cousins. Like, we do outer island contests. So it's hard, but you can do it. You just need to work hard. You need to have a strong mindset and keep going. Like, frick, there's times where I would work Alamo car rental for like 3 weeks just to get money to go to Mexico.
Sick.
I worked. A lot of people don't know that I freaking had so much jobs to do this. Everyone thinks I get paid, it's a vacation, and it's not.
No.
I mean, it's beautiful, like surfing waves across the country with your good friends, but it's like rewarding because you work so hard to get there, and you gotta do. So yeah, just work hard and keep chasing, and that's what I did. And lucky thing, I was blessed that Turbo picked me up. They signed me on my contract, and it was like, hey, look, man, we want you to do the tour. So I moved back home and started to do the tour, and I lost every first heat in 2009. I went all the way to Peru, Chile, everywhere. I lost first heat.
No way.
Never qualified till 2012, 13 year, and that's when the whole IBA shit went down, and I was like, what the fuck?
Ah, shit.
So I've been through some shit, man. Like, Turbo was supposed to pay me choke money if I qualified, and I did, and Turbo went down. Like, yeah.
Okay.
It's gotta be strong, man.
Yeah. But on that, like, interestingly, I just want to pick up on that that point that you said that your parents said to you, if you want to go and study in Oahu, will pay for your rent to be there. So how long were you living on Oahu for then? Because I think I remember a conversation with you. I think I was asking you about, hey man, you going to go to the North Shore this year? And you're like, nope. And I'm like, oh, why not? You're like, I don't like it. I don't like being on the North Shore. I like, I'll stay home and wait for Honolulu swells. So,
I stayed home 2 years after high school and I worked the airlines. Yeah. And then, so 2 years. And then I went to Oahu to HEC and I went to school for 2 years, 4 semesters.
Wow.
But I lived there for 4 years and, it was 4 semesters. Yeah, I needed only 5 more classes to get. I was studying safety.
Okay.
But I was like towards the end of my 4th semester, I was so over it. I was working full time as a valet as well, so I was making money, trying to support my traveling bodyboarding things, and going to school full time. And I was so burnt out, so I was like, I couldn't keep doing it, so I just quit school, ended up paying my own rent and working full time, and I stayed there for 2 more years. So I lived on Oahu for 4 years until Turbo signed me, and after that, everything's history. I was on the tour.
But what did the experience on Oahu? Obviously, it had its challenges, but was it did it help you in your riding significantly? Like being able to access the North Shore, regularly over repeated seasons. Like, was that something that helped you, or was it just a pain because it's so crowded? And is it different for a guy coming from Maui to try and get access to waves too? Is it hard to go to Oahu and deal with the crowd too on that front?
Super hard. So I was you guys I know you guys know I like rights, so I wasn't even looking at pipe swells.
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking at 10 foot. I'm like, oh, off the wall is going to be too big. Shit. I don't want to surf. I would surf off the wall all the time. 4 to 8 foot will be perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I did really help my riding. I was hitting big sections, and off the wall, there's no channel. So it helped me paddle out without the channel. And
yeah, exactly.
I wasn't looking for pipeline swells. That's why I didn't really even care to surf pipe. Pipe's not even one of my favorite waves. So no, but yeah, it was super crowded, and it was just real hard. I ended up being making good friends at off the wall, like Brandon Rosa guys and Shannon, Micah, all the old school guys. And then they'll give me waves, and that's where I used to surf, just off the wall. But it did help my riding planning for sure.
So just having that access to because off the wall can have some massive ramps, and it can be kind of like a slow closeout sometimes too, right? You bottom turn and then you just got to go for it. I mean, it's a pretty gnarly wave too. I feel like I definitely don't feel comfortable there at all, because you know that the reef is still the same reef underneath you that Pipeline basically has, so it's pretty crazy to be hitting the sections out there. Were there any times that you hit some sections out there where you were kind of pushing yourself too far and hitting it hard or anything like that?
Nah, I don't know. I hit so much sections over there. I feel like, I don't know, back in the day, when I was surfing off the wall, I never used to use a wetsuit. I used to use board shorts. So maybe that was the factor, but I don't know. I wouldn't really thought about oh shit, this section's big. I don't know if I want to hit it. I felt like I just wanted to hit everything and prove to everybody that shit, I like to get air, and I saw Jeff hitting big sections out there, so I was like, frick, I want to be like this guy. Never really fazed me. I don't think so. Yeah.
That's interesting, because you do have the reputation for that. I mean, certainly at Honolulu Bay, and then also at Arica, where you did that TRex Invert, which is kind of like the craziest thing still probably ever done out there.
I think I get more scared getting caught. That's the only thing. I don't like getting caught, but hitting a big section, I kind of feel I don't get scared. At Honolulu, I get scared because I know it's gonna fling y'all into the flats.
Yeah.
So I'm just more scared of trying to land, because I got my shit knocked out sometimes, couple of times.
Yeah.
Blood too, like that.
What, from concussion?
I don't know, like my chest. There's one time like I was spitting out a little bit of blood from my chest. I don't know what happened.
Okay. You smashed it.
It was kind of nuts. But yeah, heating sections, I don't really think like, shit, this is too big. I never did think about that.
No. But I mean, is there any preparation that you do for yourself to be able to handle that kind of impact? Because it is, it's funny, you said you saw Jeff Hubbard hitting these sections off the wall with your own eyes, and you're like, I want to be like that guy. That now makes a lot of sense to me, seeing what you've done since. Like would you say that Jeff Hubb is one of those main influences for you with your riding? Is he someone you definitely took a lot from over the years? Jeff,
for sure. When I was in Oahu, even when I was growing up, no friends days and whatnot. But the guy that I always wanted to be like and hit sections every time I watched this one wave was Chad Militante in I think it was in Pillage or one of those movies. He just got this biggest barrel at Honolulu and he just blasted this huge
reverse.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Guys are still talking about it, and I was like, hey, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And that's what I want to do for the rest of my life is just get big airs.
Cool.
After seeing that, I was like, oh, he's a Maui guy. So I was like, yeah, that's the guy.
Okay. That's funny. That is one of the, I'll try and find that one on the web and connect it onto this podcast. Because that is, I mean, a lot of people who might listen to this maybe can't remember it or haven't seen it. So I'll try and hunt that down because that is a crazy wave. Like that is, one of the bigger reversals there. But I mean, do you feel like out at Honolulu, would you say that that's your main kind of ground today that you do your best bodyboarding at? Is that the place where you want to be performing at your best? Is Honolulu Bay that special to you?
Well, yeah, for sure. I just feel like all of Maui is special, but Honolulu had some pretty incredible moments. There, ledges, harbor, but I would say Honolulu is the wave that you get all these feelings. You get excited, you get scared, you just get so like amped and motivated, and when it's like 6 feet and bigger, but especially when like so that's a wave where like most of these surfers are. Yeah, they're cruising hard, and there's like a handful of bodyboarders there. So like when you can get a good wave out there, it's so much rewarding than going to like a spot where there's no one there. Like it's sick still, but like when you get a perfect wave at Honolulu, like it's just epic, and especially when like outer island guys fly over. Jeff comes here a lot when it's big, so seeing him blast all kind of airs, and I have to I want to keep up with him, so I got blast all kind of airs too. So. it's a special wave when it's 6 feet or bigger, and that's where I like to go for sure.
Do you in terms of the lineup out there, is it a heavily localized wave? Like, is there a very defined pecking order like what you see at Pipeline, and I mean, where do you fit out there now? Do you have the position? Have you earned that position out there over the years?
I like that question because when I was in high school, the West Side guys never liked us. Like we're on the other side. We used to go there and they used to spin on our trucks, throw rocks from the cliff, and this and that, and I wasn't kind of like I was phased a little bit, but I was like, nah, this sucks. So I just kept surfing there. We used to get cut off all the time. I feel like back in the day, it was the lineup was more ag than it is now. I can see it at other spots too, like at the harbor and whatnot. But going back to Honolulu, frick. So I started off from the beginning, got caught off. People never liked us there, and then I just kept going, kept doing my thing, kept doing big airs and all kinds of shit. And then like now I could sit at the lineup, and the boys out there would give me waves. They all know my name.
Yeah.
But I still don't sit at the lineup with the boys. Like I just like to cruise and just wait my turn and get my wave. And if promise me I'll go. But yeah, everybody knows me out there, and shows me respect. Like, it's sick to like see the surfer say what's up to me, because I was like, when I was a kid, you guys would just burn me, and now they respect me. And now it's just like, yeah, Jacob, hit it. You know, all that stuff. I remember who's a big, like, this surfer. He's not one of the boys, but he's a big name surfer. Fletcher, one of the Fletcher guys.
Oh, yeah.
He came out once this winter, and I did this air reverse, like clean out of the bowl on a section. And there's this other surfer guy, Luke, his name is Big Island Luke. And then he was paddling with Fletcher. And then he comes up to me, he's like, oh, that was probably one of the cleanest reverses I've seen. And he said, I don't think you couldn't do that ever again. Something like that. And then Luke, the other surfer, was like, just give him one more wave. He'll do it another. So that was pretty sick, man. Like, the surfers out there, the locals out there, like, they show me a lot of respect, and I'm pretty grateful for that.
How many years has it taken to earn that respect?
My whole time since I've been bodyboarding, maybe since 2000, I think 11 or 12. That's when I kind of putting my name out there. Guys were knowing, oh, that's Romero doing big airs and all that shit. So yeah, it took me a long time.
It's interesting. So that's like a decade of you throwing yourself off massive sections.
Yeah, and the thing is that I don't even sit all in the lineup with all the boys. I just cruise on the side still. Yeah.
I think it's interesting for people to realize that, like, it's Hawaii, it's a long game out there. You know, like, it takes a long time to build up that position out there, and it doesn't really happen straight away for anybody. And it's so intense, and it's such a cool place. Well, I mean, coming back to the here and now, I mean, you're on Maui, you're working hard, you had big plans for this year. I mean, all of that has kind of stopped now, but you know, you've still got one day the tour obviously will come back. I mean, is it going to remain your kind of goal to get back on there and do some of that kind of work in the future? Is that still going to be something that...
Oh, shit. What happened?
It's not going to go away? Did I just drop out?
A little bit.
Okay. What are your plans for the next few years? Like, I mean, is the competition going to be your high focus, or is it going to back away?
For sure. I still want to win a World Tour event. When Movement did that top 5 guys that never won a World Tour event, and my name was on there, bro, like, I didn't expect my name on there, because I didn't, like, I sent them so much photos to run, and from Indonesia, and I never ran shit. So I was kind of like, maybe I'm not one of the guys, bro. They want me to showcase, and then boom, they put me on there, and I was like, fuck, give me way more motivation to win an event. And it's still, the passion still burns, bro. Like, the fire still burns to win a World Tour event. So I'm gonna keep going, and as long as I can, to try to win an event, and I'll feel accomplished after that. But for now, just surf. My contract with number 6, they're the best. They just said, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. You don't really need to do the tour. And I will pay you this stuff, I'll give you boards and whatnot. So yeah, my plan is just to keep doing what I'm doing, work, save money, travel, do some events here and there, take care of my family, and make cool clips. Maybe get one big 720 air and win this 30 G's from Movement, huh?
Well, I reckon if there's one guy that can do it, it's you. I mean, it's coming back into the kind of swell season, right, for the North Shore.
Did you enter that thing?
I don't think I can compete with you guys on that type of level. I need different tricks if I'm going to compete. I need to.
You could get like a super sick filmer guy, like, could fly drones and get like this technical like footage of you doing this mean ass air. You could win,
Oh, you never know. You never know.
Your videographer getting that.
Yeah, gotta get my private videographer onto it. No, I think I'll leave it to you crazy guys that want to hit Honolulu sections. I reckon that's more your thing. I just try to get barreled, and then that's how I do it. It's just barrels. But hey man, I think we've hit a really good sweet spot with the podcast. I think it's been good to finally chat. I really appreciate it. I really loved seeing you back in Fronton last year and competing again. I really wished you could have gotten into that main event again and mess up some world title dreams for some other people. But no, I really appreciate it. I'll hit stop record on the podcast in a second, and then just stay on the line with me, man. But thanks a lot, Jacob Romero. Any final thank yous or any shout outs you want to give to anyone who might be listening?
Yeah, thank you to all you guys for supporting me over the years. My wife, my family, everybody, all you guys. That's the reason why I keep going, is because all these messages I get and saying I'm an inspiration to them. Like, that's why I keep going and keep doing what I'm doing. And yeah, thank you very much, Josh and Le Boogie, for this opportunity. It's been 4 years already for this, but nah. But yeah, thanks to everybody for listening, and yeah, follow your dreams and make strong.
Epic.
All right.
The